What is going on, GBA Universe? My name is Brandon from Your Average Noob Gaming, and welcome back for this Week 4 edition of the Waiver Wire show, a show where we take a Pokemon off the waiver wire and slot them onto a team in the GBA D-League. Now, if you remember last week, we talked about replacing Hardy's Butterfree with Torkoal, but today's Pokemon is going to be a little more difficult for me to justify. But watching his match this week, I feel like this Pokemon would benefit his team. So without any further ado, here is the Week 4 Waiver Wire Pokemon, Hoenn Native Claydol. I actually don't know if anyone's noticed, but we haven't left the Hoenn or Sinnoh regions for any of our Waiver Wire mons yet, and I don't even know why that is. But either way, looking at Claydol's stats, we see a set of stats that are going to make for a nice little defensive Pokemon. I kind of wish that HP stat could be a little higher than 60, but regardless, we see 60 in the HP, 70 attack, 105 defense, 70 in special attack, 120 in special defense, and 75 in speed. Now, I realize Claydol doesn't have the best offenses in the world, but not to fear, I do have a plan for that. But for the most part, what we're going to want to use this Pokemon for is a support. And you may be wondering, where would we even slot Claydol in the GBA? My answer for you is on the Houston Gastros in place of Spiritomb. Now, don't get me wrong, I really like Spiritomb a lot. I really actually like Mike's team a lot as a whole. But I love what Spiritomb can do, but I think there's a hole on Mike's team, and I think that hole is rapid spinning. Now, I know he has a Defogger and Togekiss, and I understand that, but in case you haven't noticed, Defogger moves your hazards as well as the other person's hazards, and in his battle with Ellie in Week 4, Mike did manage to get rid of Ellie's rocks, but he also got rid of his own. This allowed Ellie to switch out 29 more times in the battle and gain momentum over him before eventually wearing him out and beating him. And last week against Will, Mike faced a completely different kind of problem, and it was in the form of Exploud. Mike wasn't prepared for it, it did a really amazing number on his team, and his usual Stealth Rocker, which would be the Nidoqueen, wasn't able to really Stealth Rock at all because it was holding a Choice Scarf, and it was actually more of an offensive set. So having Claydol in there might have helped because it would have allowed the Nidoqueen to continue to be Choice Scarfed and be offensive, while the Claydol could have been more support and put up Stealth Rocks. So I think there's a lot of ways that a Pokemon like Claydol could have helped in either match, but let's not just take my word for it, let's hop over to Pokemon Showdown and I can show you what I mean. So the first Claydol I have here to show you is holding Leftovers with Levitate, which is Claydol's only ability, with Rapid Spin, Stealth Rock, Earthquake, and Zen Headbutt. This one's got 252 in HP, 246 in defense, and 12 in special defense with a Careful Nature. This one's kind of evening out the defense and special defense stats, so it's kind of an odd little spread, so maybe you might throw somebody off at the defensive if they're looking up calcs. It's like, what kind of set is this? It doesn't, you know, they might not be able to guess it right off the bat. You could play around with this one. You could make it special if you'd like. You could put more support moves on it. You maybe Toxic, maybe something like that, and it'll just sit in there, take hits. But yeah, this one's for hazard setup and hazard removal, which is always a nice thing. The next one we have here is a both physically and specially defensive Claydol. This one's got Leftovers with Levitate, the Light Screen, Reflect, Psyshock, and Calm Mind. You could also change the Leftovers for Light Clay if you wanted to have the screens up longer. I'd actually probably recommend Light Clay instead. So all you do is you probably lead in with this one, or you bring this one in pretty early. You want to get up the screens so you can take more hits from certain Pokemon. This probably would have been another nice one to have against that Exploud that Will was having. You would have been able to have a nice amount of special defense along with a light screen. It would have caused that Exploud to be doing a lot less damage to some of Mike's mons. So a screener is never a bad thing to have on a team in my opinion. And the last Claydol we have here is holding the Assault Vest with Earth Power, Psyshock, Signal Beam, and Shadow Ball with 126 in HP, 252 in special attack, and 126 in special defense with a Modest Nature. Now this one's going to be somewhat especially defensive with that Assault Vest and the 126 in special defense and 126 in HP, but the real thing with this Claydol is the synergy you can have with Togekiss. Now the whole idea is to go out into Togekiss, get the Nasty Plot up, maybe they expect an Air Slash, so they're going to go out into maybe an Electric type to resist the Air Slash. Then you can go Baton Pass into Claydol, and then do whatever need be with the Claydol to do some hefty damage onto the Pokemon that's coming out. All these moves are going to do pretty well, and if they're a bulky Pokemon on the defensive side, on the special defensive side that is, just get a Psyshock out there, it's going to do a nice amount of damage. Just all in all, this is a nice set to have, along with that Togekiss. I feel like it synergizes nicely with it. You're going to get a lot of special defense and a lot of special offense out of it. But that's it for me, so you can let me know what you thought of the episode in the comments section below. Do you think Claydol for Spiritomb is a good idea, bad idea, why or why not? Do you think it would have been good against Ellie's team? Do you think it would have been nice against Will's team? Just let me know down in the comment section below. Do you think it was a good idea, bad idea? Do you think there would have been another Pokemon in completely in general that could take Spiritom's place? Do you think there's another Pokemon that could take another Pokemon's place in the GBA D-League? That's what I want to know, so let me know down there. That's it for me, guys. My name is Brandon from Your Average Noob Gaming, and you've been watching the Waiver Wire show for the GBA D-League. Bye-bye.